Lights, camera, action.
And action.
Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Just Like Us. I'm Justin. That's my lovely co-host, Leti Zito. Welcome in, you guys. So I'm running late today. We are running late today. Had a long day at work. I chose to have look nice over being on time because I could have got here, been dusty, and you know what? So I chose to get in an outfit and look nice. I should have been on time.
And doesn't he look nice? And listen, I'm telling you, we have had some technical difficulties once again, and yet our BSA team showed up and helped me through that.
As always.
And then, I relied on ChatGPT to help me, with the rest, and just remembering, the layout of the room and what Justin does, because he's really good at the lighting. And I got to pat myself on that.
Yeah,
I did
you
pretty
did great
well
today.
with, literally, I think you walked in and we had 2 minutes, if that, right, to go.
Right.
And here we are. We don't have a script, right? We just want to get, candid and real and just talk about, setting up this podcast like this. It's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot
There is
that goes into this.
Yeah.
And, it's been a really big learning experience for me. I've never done anything like this before, right? I think you were the one. You got the. I was gonna say eye of the tiger, but an eye for your camera and how things should be. And so I've learned a lot just watching other podcast episodes or just us trying out. It's really about trying.
Yeah.
About putting things in place and going and running back over here. Like I was running back and forth, from the camera setup and the lights and coming and sitting here and looking at everything and going like, okay, I might tweak it a little bit here. Okay, well, and standing back from it and going like, how could I make this better? Like logically, if I put the camera this way, what will happen? If I tilt it this way, right? And just, yeah, it's been a week and it's only Wednesday, Justin. How about you? Like I have felt like it's been a week. Like there's been a lot of just personal things going on. And yet we're not just showing up for you, but we're showing up for us.
Yeah, right.
Even when that hits the fan, so to speak, right? We still show up even when he just walks in the door. And I'm over here going like, okay, look, I've already called the BSA team once. I mean, I'm a very intelligent person, so I can, figure this stuff out too. But it's nice to know that at any given moment, there's someone that you can call. We have so many mentors, for personal and business, and they all intertwine. They all help us with our personal and our business. But, yeah, that's just
I'm doing this.
off.
I'm doing this for the audio. I want to make sure that microphone's not working. This one is, so I want to make sure that she sounds good. Shout out to Lena. What's up, Lena? How you doing, sister?
This one isn't working.
It's not. So this one is. That's why I'm holding this up. Typically, it's not how we do it, but I've got to figure the audio out. I was online last night, and I was able to figure out the Canon camera, the one we have here, and how to. I made my very first segment for the fatherhood thing that I've got going on, and I was able to dial it in on another platform. So I'm gonna get this figured out tonight. But again, like to add to what Letty's saying, this is a big deal. There's a lot to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So shout out to Letty for making this happen.
More ways than one.
Right? Yeah. There's a lot going on. So and it's good. It's good because we're learning as we're earning, and it really pushes you to the limit because you want to be able to juggle the 9 to 5, juggle the business, and and life and the relationship,
right.
So yeah. Anyways, we're making do with what we can. Here you go. Go ahead.
With what? This thing doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work. It does not. No, I was just checking on YouTube, and that one doesn't work. So we want to make sure that we dial this in. But again, it's work in progress. We've been doing this for what, 7, almost 8 months.
Like right on our live. What if we plugged in our Ceremonic into here, and I use that one and you use that one?
We could.
That could work, right?
Oh, look!
That's
Shout out to
my
Lena. How you doing,
stepdaughter.
sister?
I don't
Yes.
know who that is.
Nico, what's
So,
up, Nico? That's my nephew, man. Little Nico's in the house. Good man. I miss you guys. You know, from Idaho. This is family. Lena, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Nico, how you doing, man? I miss you, buddy. Miss you guys, dude. I would love to see you guys. Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys here. Thank you guys for popping in. This is something that we do. Well, we're going to be doing it only on Thursday, starting next week?
next week. So
Next
we
week.
won't have an episode this Friday because we'll be going to Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
So
yeah. We've been going hard for the past 6 months, you guys. Twice a week. What?
Who's counting?
7 months. We haven't missed a beat. Like, it's been like today. I did not. For some reason, I was like, I had a hard day at work. I busted my butt and I was working really, really hard, and I did not want to come do the podcast. And this is not typical.
I didn't
It's
either.
not-
I was almost like, man, this.
but we're here and we've shown up. You know,
We're
being
here.
consistent. So
That's always paid off.
what has happened lately is
Consistency.
we've had people that are, hey, we're interested in your show. We like what you're doing. You know, we've had some amazing guests. We've had multimillionaires on here. And I'm saying this to say that, you know, being consistent is definitely key, especially for someone like myself who I've really been involved with, you know, doing things that were not the best for my body. And, you know, and so now I'm like, I'm really in the health.
We were really consistent at that, doing things that weren't good for us. You know, to ourselves, to each other. Like, we were very consistent in that. And it's nice to turn the tables and start to show up for ourselves with that consistency that we know is in us and that, you know, we have. And, you know, even with the you know, personal stuff going on, like I said, I did not want to show up for this podcast.
But here we are.
Being real. But
Here we are. We're here. We've been showing up. You know what I mean? It's been a rough week. But, you know, there's been a lot of progress. So I want to say some of the things that I've progressed in is making these AI dolls have been awesome. So I find that I stay up late sometimes making these little podcast AI dolls that I make, you know, to really to advertise, you know, when we go on with guests and things of that nature. So, and I've gotten into it. You know, I've really learned how to make these, and they take some time. I spent like 8 hours on these 3 dolls, like these 3 videos for one of our guests that we had. And I find it's something that I'm really attracted to. I find that it's something that I like to do. And so when I was up one night doing this, I was like, if you like something that much that you're up late night doing it, maybe I should look into doing this consistently, right? Maybe I should look into doing this for a living, or maybe I should do this on a side hustle or something like that. So, you know, I've been pouring into that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I know. Yeah. And there have been a lot of late nights. Yep. For me, like, this podcast is like my baby. This is, you know, a place where I get to continue to use my voice. It's not the place I learned that I had a voice, but where I get to share. And what I want this podcast to be is not a place where, like, I perform, right? I've been doing that my whole life. There is still, there's some performance aspects to this. I mean, let's be real, right? It's entertainment too, but we also want it to be a platform where, you know, we open up conversations and we just get real and we talk about, like, the setbacks that we're having, and, you know, without, like, oversharing, right? This isn't the place for that. You know, that's what therapy is for, I guess. I've heard,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know, I have places where I can do that at. And so, you know, what we're hoping for really, and, you know, back me or don't if I'm right or wrong, is, you know, we want to be able to come up with a course, right? Come up with, maybe some of you out there don't know how to use ChatGPT. Maybe you're afraid, like I was, right? I'm trying to find my niche. Like, I was like, where does this information go? What does ChatGPT do with, you know, and I've used it as a Dear Diary, and it's been helpful. And it's been helpful in professional, right? It's helped me discover, like, okay, maybe I don't want to share that because that might be oversharing. And y'all might not be ready for that, right?
Right.
I am, but you guys might not be. And like I said, there's places for that. But, you know, I want this to be a space where when our guests come on, you know, they know that their voice matters and their story matters. And I hope that, you know, we've accomplished that. I want to say that we have. I mean, it's definitely helped me out. And I'm really, really grateful, you know, for this podcast and, you know, what it's growing into, right? I can't see the future, but I'm ready to dive in, right? I don't always have to know what's going to happen. I used to, but I don't today. I can challenge myself. Today was a challenge. I'm not even going to lie. I was like, man, Justin does a lot with that camera stuff, right? And so, I did the best I could with just remembering how we angle everything, and it turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to come in and do the lighting, but I was like,
Dude, I'm a
so
perfectionist
close.
too. I'm
it's
such a
just-
perfectionist.
Yeah. And I was a perfectionist. And I think that, that can serve its purpose, but man, it can really get under your skin if someone's not doing it, the way you do it. I know from experience, and that for me is not a road I want to go down. I want to be comfortable and feel competent, not, always have somebody like checking my work and, saying, well, you could have done this or you could have done that, right? I want to just get on here, and it's really good, and it's been really good. It's these episodes have been incredibly helpful to us and incredibly helpful to our viewers from, what we get told out there on the street and in the chat and, outside of here. And so I'm just, season 2, this is our last episode, and we're starting season 3, and we want to pour our whole heart into that, just like we have been. I mean, we've been upgrading things, and yeah, it's exciting.
It is. So we're about to end this thing. This is our last episode, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Our very last, not for season 2. So we're going into season 3. This is pretty big. I love this because, again, it shows consistency, and I've been really good at showing up for other things. And again, this is a positive thing, because what we really want to do is, personally, I want to make impacts on your guys' life. Having people show up and seeing us doing our thing. Hopefully we inspire other people to do it too, because Lena knows me well. And the fact that where I was, 5-6 years ago, compared to where I'm at now, even a year and a half ago, where I was at, using and not being, the best parent or father, to now is like night and day. So there's a huge difference, and I've come a long way. We've come a long way, and hopefully we inspire you guys too, because, pouring into something like this, there's dedication. You really gotta want this. And although we're not raking in the money, we're showing up for not only ourselves but for other people too. I've heard people tell us, like Leti said earlier, that you showing up being you is inspiring me. I've had people stop smoking, and people that had stopped using drugs and drinking in the process of watching us do our thing, and I'm extremely proud of myself. Lena says, yes, so proud of you, and I thank you for that, because it does help to have the encouragement to people to say, hey, I see you, you're doing your thing. I'm glad you're out here doing your thing, because it's really good to see, and I hope it's inspiring, because that's what my goal is I want to be the one that people look up to. I've had that many years in my life where people say, man, I've been looking up to you for a long time. And that's what I want. I want for people to say, hey, he's a good person, he's a good dude, he's a good dad. And I want to be able to have people say, hey, I've learned so much from you. And I'm learning as well. So I have mentors as well. What do they say? A coach without a coach is a hypocrite. So I definitely want to be continuously learning, and I want to be able to teach as well. I want people to learn from me, because I'm getting to that age where I'm like, dang, we always have the opportunity to learn no matter what. But I'm in the season where I want to be able to give some of the knowledge that I've learned over the years and pass it down. I mean, I feel like I'm a great leader. I feel like I'm someone who people can look up to and be a positive role model. And that's my goal, is to make sure that my kids can say that he was a great person, if not a great parent, you know what I mean? Like, at least somebody who they can see the progress that I'm making. They can see that I'm going for, the end goal would be to be happy and to have, the good things in life, such as family around. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, if you were on your deathbed, the one thing that you probably want is somebody by your side to hold your hand, or to cry with, or to talk to, or to smile with, or just to laugh with. Yeah. You're not going to give a crap about the money. You're not going to give a crap about the cars, or, how much, friends you had. You want the people who are actually going to be there for you. And that's kind of what it boils down to for me, is I want to live a good life, but I also want for people to say, hey, he's a really good person, and I learned a lot of things from him, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Lena, she said, amen. I'm fresh out of rehab and still sober. Stop smoking cigarettes too. Let's go, Lena. That's dope. It's been a year. I think it was just a year in June for me for no vaping, no cigarettes, no nicotine, no nothing. a quick story on that. I left my vape out in Punta Cana when we were out there, and I decided, like I said, if this isn't a sign, I'm going to make it a sign. So I ended up quitting that. That's after quitting substance last January, and then ended up quitting drinking and caffeine. So, and I've been fasting, here and there, quite a bit, like 4 or 5 days in a row fasting. And so I'm just pushing the limits to see how far I can go and progress. So, I mean, I've been using these nicotines and bad things my whole life, and it feels like it's time to give my body a break, right? It's time to give my heart a break, my liver, my lungs, and those things of that nature. So I'm really proud of you for being out of rehab and staying sober. I know that the kids probably definitely see a huge difference, and I know that it's definitely a plus in your life to be able to say, "Hey, I've quit the things that I no longer need or want," because we know too well that those things. There's a drive to want to go back to that life, but I'm telling you, the grass is green on the other side. You know what I mean? We're getting older, and I have a heart monitor on right now. I have this heart monitor. I can feel it right now. That whenever I have a pain, I'm supposed to push this button. All right, I'm supposed to push this button, and I got to document how long it lasted. What I felt, and so it's really concerning because you never know if your heart stops beating or if it skips a beat or this thing is so precious and so timed and so like it's accurate as heck, man. The heart is like the most amazing thing. So, anyways, I'm gonna let Letty take the mic. But I just we're having this episode is really based on being able to reflect again on how far we've come in such a short period of time. So I'm really excited to be here for you guys. And again, I hope that you guys are getting something from this because it's season 3's coming up, and we've come a long way. We spent a lot of time.
What our hopes is for season 3? I mean, do we have
keep going?
An idea? Keep going. Just having guests or.
Yeah, I mean, like we're growing. Like when I say growing, I mean like we've had some very successful people on. We've had some genuine people. We've had some we've had lawyers. We've had income producing activities such as Desmond. We've had so many people on that we've learned from having on.
I was going to say, gosh, being on, speaking of mentors, being on BSA's, our coffee, was it coffee? Yeah, coffee and conversations, that one. If you joined the community, man, they dropped some serious gems.
Yeah.
In that 1 hour. Right. Yeah. I mean, we went a little over, but BSA, I'm telling you, I was like, wait, what? Just a whole mindset shift with, it showed me how I was thinking of things before, and it just really opened me up to looking at it a different way and going like, we'd heard it before, but the way we heard it here, maybe we're just ready, also. And it was put to us in a very simple, digestible term, right, that we could understand. And, I am going to leave you guys hanging because, listen, we want you to come in and join the Biz Success Academy and listen to these, gem-dropping nuggets for yourself and see what you think. And I know Justin put the QR code so you can scan that and come check it out. I mean, I've learned how to make an AI doll. I never thought I would do that. And now, and not only that, I had it in the box. I got it to come out the box.
That's funny,
right?
And there's a lot more than that.
A lot more to it than that. Yeah, but those are steps. Those are like actionable progress steps. It might not seem big to maybe you or anyone else who's like has
it's big
dolls, but for somebody like me, who's 52 and was a little afraid of AI and maybe had some mindset things I had to work through, to have a team, stand behind you, beside you, in front of you, on call, off call, just at a moment's notice, ready to say, you can do this. And literally I'm standing, or sitting in here on my laptop telling myself, you can do this. Like, don't make it so hard. These are the conversations I have with myself. And of course, for me, I pray, I turn that over to God and ask for help every time he shows up. Right. And so, I might not go as quick as everybody. That's just not me. That's not my style. And I don't, and I don't apologize for that. I go at my pace, but I get the job done. every single time. I'm somebody who's consistent, reliable, responsible, and shows up, right? And gets things done when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so I have no doubt that the rest of this will go that way for me as well. And so thanks for letting me toot my own horn.
Yes, let's go. So shout out to BSA. BSA stands for Biz Success Academy, which I have had the privilege and honor of being one of the admin. Again, I was on with Sharice. Our first call I ever had was Sharice, who's the owner of this. She invited me, the founder, I guess you could say. Yeah, she invited me, who I met through Charles, Coach Charles. Shout out to Coach Charles. And she said, "Hey, we'd love to have you. You have great energy. You know what I mean? I think you'd be a great benefit to this, community. We'd love to have you in as an administration. So somebody in the back that's, we host these events. We host, Wednesdays, which is, we have the Power Hour, which is awesome. We had that today, and we had Coffee Conversations, which I host every Saturday. So if you guys, it's free to come and do these. So again, Wednesdays is the Power Hour, and it's at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So that's our time here on the West Coast. And then Saturdays is we have the Coffee Conversations, which is what I host. And so, and it's cool because, I learn. I'm able to learn as I earn it, and I'm able to teach too. I'm able to, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what we're, and when I'm able to teach people, because now we're getting some momentum. So we're getting people that come every Saturday, people that come every Wednesday. We have our meetings behind the scenes, and also, let me say, we are booked. We're officially booked, Leti, you and I, and little Justin, to go on this cruise to Puerto Vallarta. And what is the other, Rio de Janeiro or
no?
Puerto Vallarta,
Mexican Riviera.
Yes, there we go. Yes, so we're gonna. It's gonna be fantastic. So I booked our room. We have. I want to say we're getting a suite, but we might not be, depending. But it's in the works, and so we're going April. And we're gonna have a fantastic time. I've never been on a cruise. Neither has Leti. The only place I've only been to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Out of the country. Phenomenal. That was the best. This is going to be even better because, again, we are with a fantastic team. Shout out to David Watts. He's got the commercial and the ad up for this on his Onstage Plus platform, which is a television station. He's got it running over to about 180 million viewers, you guys. So and speaking of which, shout out to David. He put our very first commercial that we made, you guys. We made our very first commercial for Just Like Us podcast, and David put it up on his Onstage Plus television station, which is getting views, I think, still, and our ad runs every 8 minutes. Shout out to the team at BSA though. Like, this has been our backbone. Desmond Soon, shout out to him, and all the people who's been Charlene, all the people who's been supporting us along the way, and even those who haven't,
Dr. Renee.
Yes, absolutely, yes. The people who've been here, shout out to everybody here. My Eric Rand, that's my accountability partner, man. We talk every night, 7 o'clock. Clockwork, no matter what. And so, and these kind of things, they add up. The value is having people who show up for you on a constant basis, and it matters so much, you guys. It means a lot, because when people show up for you, you can show up for yourself. When people show up for you and they hold you accountable, then they can ask, hey, I thought we had discussed we were going to do this as a team, and they push you. It's like, oh yes, you're right. So the things that matter are having people who can hold you accountable, and a team that you can depend on, that you can fall back on, that you can bounce things off of, especially in the business world. But personally, like, we have this community that we can fall back on and ask any question. Like my mentor, Sharice Gilliam, we can call her pretty much night and day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can call her on the phone and she's going to either answer, which is 99% of the time, or she'll get right back to me. And you know how important that is to have somebody who you can rely on, to count on, to depend on, that you can go to for questions such as business, personal, financial. Like, she is a guru in so many different, categories. And it's great to have people like that on your side. She believes in me like I do her. I asked her, I said, so why me though? She's like, do you have any idea how hard it is to find somebody with your energy and your drive in this industry? She's like, you're a gold mine. I said the same to her. You know what I mean? So they brought me in, and I'm full-fledged. I'm going off. Anybody who knows me, you guys know I go hard with whatever I do. You know what I mean? Really just Letty and I, we're the same in that sense. We're very much alike. When we want something, we're going to go do it. So we've been pouring in not only to ourselves, but to this community too. We are thinking about having our own community started here in Just Like Us, outside of this platform. And we're thinking about getting a community started. And we want to know your guys' opinion. What do you guys think? If we had a community that you guys could join and be a part of something like this, or we can come together on a weekly or every other weekly basis, or maybe once a month basis, and join teams and bounce ideas off each other. It's just we're throwing stuff at the wall right now and just seeing what sticks, right? Just kind of some ideas, because I mean, really, there is so much power in community, right? The power of community is amazing, because again, I've met some fantastic people in the past year and a half of my sobriety in community. You know what I mean? Being around people who are like-minded, people that are spiritual, people that are, they just want to do better for themselves. And so for me, I feel like, community is everything. How about you?
I would agree. For me, I got to say it's not everything for me, but it's a big part of it, because for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, is, I love being around people, but I have always been a really good self-motivator and somebody who I have high integrity, and I keep myself accountable. And it's not that, I don't enjoy being around other people. I do. But it's not everything for me, right? It's a huge part of it. I am that person. I like to figure things out. And before I would crumble, at least today, because I've opened myself up to community, I've been able to say, like, ooh, even today when I had some issue, like, I'll be honest, I didn't want to call Charisse. I wanted to be like, let me try to figure it out myself, right? But that would have taken me some time instead of just going right to the source, and that's not to say that I couldn't have figured it out, but I'm giving her the opportunity. I'm learning how to give and receive, which is just as important, right? And she just boop boop got in there, and we figured it out together. And to me, that is what community is about, because people are not always going to be there for you. That's the truth. Sometimes they're going to have things going on, and you might have to figure it out. So you got to make sure you are a solid person inside, right? And you can stand on your own 2 feet. And, and then I think, putting yourself out there is what community do you want? What do you want out of community? What does that even mean to you? Right. I am still figuring that out. Right. I'm being vulnerable, because I've had a lot of bad experiences with people that I love and I thought loved me, within communities, outside of communities. And so it's taken me some time to warm up. And for me, rightfully so. I take my time, right? I don't want to just jump in. I find for me, when I just jump into things, for me, it gets messy. I know who I am, and I know how my brain works and how I function. And I want to walk authentically in that, and like I said, I always get there. It just takes me a little bit longer, than maybe it does other people. And I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to be them. I'm trying to be me, and unapologetically. And and they allow me to do that. They know who I am, but I'm also opening myself
PSA,
up.
right?
Anybody, any community. I'm a part of quite a few of them. And so, they allow me the space to, like, be myself and explore and open up and close up or open up. And I think the point here is just to keep opening up, right? To keep saying yes and making sure that you're saying yes to you and not just yes to everybody else. But they have a lot of things in there that I'm excited to say yes to. There's been so much growth. I think I've only been in there maybe 6 weeks.
There is in BSA.
BSA, right? In the BSA community for 6 weeks, and the internal growth, right, that I've seen in myself is, I'm even surprising myself. Like, wow, and even there today, I didn't want to show up, but I was like, I just woke up in a pissy mood, and I went to the grocery store, and the cashier was like, "How are you doing today?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm pissy, and I'm impatient, and I feel irritated. But thank you for asking." She's like, "Yeah, me too." If I would have just used "I'm great, everything's fantastic," right? It's not always fantastic. Like, I'm going through some stuff right now, and I
Bloated,
don't.
I'm on my period.
I'm not on that. But,
no, but somebody asked you, like,
but it was just nice to not have to mask, right? Even to the cashier, and she didn't have to. I just thanked her. I thanked her because it lightened my mood, and it, when I got back home and got ready to get on our, power hour with Biz Success Academy, I was ready because I seriously could feel myself wanting to close and just being like, I don't even want to do this, right? Letting my mood and call the shots. It's just a feeling. It's just a mood. It will pass. That's what I told the lady at the grocery store, and we both laughed and had a chuckle. And then I was talking to the other people that were bagging their groceries, and I left ready to go. It just sometimes takes that just little shift, right? But you've got to make that decision. It's not going to just, happen for you. You've got to decide, like, okay, I can sit with this and still be kind and still be present, right? And that's what we want this podcast to be. Not just performance, but we want to have presence. And I know we both do. So
your presence is a gift.
Check.
So yes, and this is it is routine for us. We've been doing this again for I think this is our 60th. How many episodes? We're going on 60 episodes. I think this is like 59 episodes in 8 months, 7 months. And so, I mean, and we've been consistent with it, like, no matter what. Like, I remember I was dying. Like, I was over here, felt sicker than I've ever felt in my life, still showed up. And I'm saying that to say that, I wouldn't call it relentless, but definitely, a go-getter. I don't want to miss a thing. And there are times where, you don't want to show up, or you don't want to, put on the suit, but I make sure I show up not only for myself, but for others too, because it's important. People are counting on us. And, our ratings, they're growing. We're getting more ratings. And so at some point we're hoping to monetize this and be able to get people who want to be able to, brand us and are like, that want to sponsor us. And so we're just showing up consistently and making sure that we're doing what we need to do to progress. Right.
Right. Of that. Yes.
I'm gonna turn some music on. How about that? Yeah, and so, and a lot of times we have things, structured to where we have like somewhat of a script, and we have things, to where, we know based on what it is that we've experienced or who we have as a guest, we have an outline. But today we're freestyling it because, it doesn't always have to be scripted. It doesn't always have to be, anything of, let's just be us today. And so, and Leti got us these mugs. He got me one of these for Father's Day, and I love it. These are great. Yeah, we've gotten a few for some of our Biz Success Academy team members. We got one for Desmond. We got some for some of our mentors and things like that. And so we should actually put up.
It would be nice if Shutterfly, this is where I got these. Shout out. Had like some type of bundle package, like for people to because these are spendy doing it off there, but it's really good quality. But if they had some type of bundle, deal where we could buy bulk, and get these into your hands.
Yeah. And again, let's talk about that real quick. So we haven't done merch yet. We haven't done any merchandise yet. We're still growing, but why not start out some merchandise? We're actually thinking about getting some sweaters. Some shirts, some hoodies, and and then get you guys some of these. Let us know in the comments if you guys watch this later on. Would you guys want to purchase one of these for like $10, $15? To not only help with the channel, because again, we've spent quite a bit putting this together, and that's good because again, it's showing that we are dialing this in and we want to progress. So, right? I mean, we've spent a good amount of money, but I'm saying that to say that. We're wanting to do this. We want for people to be able to see this. We want for people to see us come up on here so we can bring people to, right? We have it structured. Letty's been in behind the scenes working on so many things, such as the emails that she sends out. And if you guys are potential guests, you'll get an email.
Check your emails, check your spam. I did reach out to a few and they were like, yeah, we received it, but we're not ready to come on yet. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that they got received and, on our end that, that the email process is working the way that it's supposed to, right? So,
right, yeah. Good.
yeah,
That's good.
Other than that, we do want to be able to, I think it would be fun to, not just have guests, but based on even what we talk about, we have so many topics to discuss, is having, videos to go with it or a presentation or some slides, because for my visual folks out there too, right?
Right.
Maybe some statistics to just be more engaging.
Right.
These are just, ideas that we're discussing.
Yeah.
And who knows, that might go in a completely different direction. But it's always good to have some type of a plan, right?
Yeah.
And then just be open to being led. When we do this podcast, I'm praying all throughout the day. I really do make conscious contact with my maker, and it's not always rainbows and roses, but man, does he show up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single time.
Yeah, always.
Whether I do or not, he shows up. He's
right.
faithful.
Yeah.
And, I pray over this podcast, and I pray over what direction, he wants us in. There's so many voices out there, but really the most important one you need to listen to, if I would suggest, is your own, because it's your journey and it's your life. And yes, other people have done things you haven't done, but there's still things for you to do too. Right. And we can take things that other people have done and make them our own. And that's what we get to do. There's lots of people with podcasts and just come here, do this, go over here, do that, over here, do this. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. And so for myself, what I get to do is just get quiet and get still. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Like cold steel.
Yeah, cold still. And listen, just listen without any distractions, without anybody else's input. And it's amazing what, your body, what your mind, what your heart already knows for you, right? You are the answer. You don't have to be the problem anymore, but you are the answer. So tune in. Just saying.
Yeah. And so again, we want to thank you guys for being here with us. We are officially going to be going on for Thursdays now, from now on, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So for you East Coasters, it's going to be 10 o'clock your guys' time. I know it's a little bit late for you guys out there, but, we wanted to be able to focus a little bit more on having this structured better and being able to get our guests that come on dialed in, meaning, we want to have everything prepared, because if I'm running in the door here, at 5:30, 5:45, and we go live at 6, it makes for sometimes a difficult time, and we want to make sure that we are prepared and on time, because lately we've been a few minutes late, and I don't really like to be late. I don't. In the life that I had before this of using and substance and drinking, it wasn't like as huge a deal. But now, I'm more geared toward business and being on time. And I like to be on time because, it says a lot about your character. So anyways, we are going to start going live at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from here on out on Thursday nights. Wherever you're at in the world, it's going to be Thursday. So make sure you guys please tune in. So we have the Spotify. We also have YouTube and Facebook. I don't think I went live on one of my Facebooks.
Right.
Lena popped in, so it did go on one of them.
It could have been, she might have caught you on the just like us Facebook page. Or
okay,
YouTube.
Right, okay, yeah.
It tells you Facebook, so she's on the podcast page, I'm assuming.
So yeah, again, we're going to be going live Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you guys, be sure you tune in. And again, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know how you guys are feeling, because again, the name of this, Just Like Us, is because we know we're not the only ones that feel about certain things that we feel. We know some of you have used and drank and have come out of that, and some of your people are still doing it. And so we have dabbled in, so many things.
Right? This isn't just about like using substance. Those
Well,
were that's it's for
Wasn't
really
finished.
for. Oh, sorry. No. I'll shush. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, what I was saying is like we know that you guys have been in similar situations, such as like Lady and I, with drinking and using. Also, people who are in business and people who are just parents, people who are just going through their everyday life. And a lot of you people out there are just like us. So one of the reasons we named it that was because we have very similarities to a lot of people.
Did we have a name before this?
Dressed
Like us. Yeah,
dressed like
that
us.
sounded too much like.
It could be a fashion show or
Look,
you know?
dressed like to impress because we like that, but we like just like us because we really are. We're just like you. We're not all equal and we're not all the same, and that is what makes that so beautiful. Is we have similarities and we have differences, and we can allow those differences to shape us, or tear us apart.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And maybe focus on the similarities and what we have in common, but also let those differences, come into play too.
I agree.
What makes the world go round, I think.
Right. Yeah. So again, we want to say thank you to you guys. We're really appreciative to have the viewers coming in and being able to see us. We haven't really been checking analytics lately, but we want to be able to see what was working, what we could do different. If you guys have any opinions, anything that we could better, if you made it this far, go ahead and make sure you follow if you're on following, and leave a comment, share it, do the things that would help the algorithm for us, you guys. What is the link for the couple that we're involved with, the America's Greatest Couple? What is it called?
It's all on our socials, or at least mine. I mean, I posted it on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
What's the name of it?
It's America's Favorite Couple.
America's Favorite Couple. If you guys see this, please go vote for us. We are in second. We're runner up, right? I guess we're in the second
round.
Second round. So meaning we passed the first round
tomorrow.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh
so
no!
We need you to get in there and vote.
So America's what?
America's Favorite Couple.
America's Favorite Couple. Have you guys heard that?
It's just a story. When I don't even remember how I came across it, but I was like, hey, why not? Why not? It's always going to be a no unless you go for it. So I was like,
here we are. Yeah, we should be pushing it. 20 G's. That could change, some things in the house. We could get some, new equipment. We could save up. We could put it into Bitcoin. We could, invest it. But the point is, support. We will support you guys. We're just here because we feel like it's necessary for us to show up not only for ourselves but for our guests as well. So thank you all for being here tonight. I got some stuff I want to do as far as like being able to hold this mic like this. I don't want to do this next time. I would like to be able to have Letty's mic on and mine as well, working both of these, and I need to do some adjustments here and figure out what I need to do. So again, thank you guys for being here. This thing's going crazy wild. Maybe I'm too close. But again, we love you guys, and we will see you guys this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard, 10 on Eastern. And shout out to Letty for getting all this together. Thank you for doing all this. You know what I mean? Love you. Love you guys, and we'll see you guys.